Welcome back to the Sometimes Builds. Today we're working on my 2020 Subaru Outback Limited, installing a Draw-Tite Max Frame DT73RR Class 3 hitch on this Subaru Outback. This is a Class 3, not a Class 2, so the weight rating for both tongue and, pull, tow rating is significantly higher, way more than the Subaru can actually pull. But I wanted something robust, something that's going to last a long time, not have any issues, so let's get started. Join us. Good morning, happy Saturday, welcome back to the channel. Uncle Charlie's here today and we're going to be installing this Draw-Tite Max Frame hitch. Now we're going to be following this video up here from eTrailer, so if you want just the instructions on how to do that, check that video out. If you want to see how we do it with not a lift, just quick jacks and random tools and yeah, fun times. Let's go. First things first, of course, you have to lift up the car safely. We're using quick jacks that we got from Costco, so that gives us like a 3-foot lift on it to get under it. And then after it's securely up in the air, we need to get a strap and put it under the exhaust because we have to loosen the exhaust hangers and let the exhaust hang down. You don't want it smacking you in the face. Nobody likes that.
Yeah, shit, you could put something like an air compressor up here. You got it. I mean, this whole cubby here is open space.
That's true. I could put train horns on this Outback.
Yeah.
So maybe we don't even have to strap up the exhaust. Since this is the limited model, not XT, there's no muffler there. We just have to lower this one because we're bolting it right underneath of it. While Charlie takes the muffler off, we're going to take a look at what's in the bag here. So this accessory bag is strapped to the hitch. My box got all sorts of beat up on the way here because obviously it's a several hundred or 100-pound hitch. So you get these like pull through wires because you have to pull bolts through the frame and then pull them down. So glad it comes with those. Comes with both larger, these are the larger washers that go up inside the frame, and then 2 smaller washers. We'll show you where those go as we go along. A collection of standard washers, but also washers with teeth on them. There's a certain spot those need to go in for those 4 carriage bolts that go up inside the frame as well, and then the 4 nuts for those. So that is everything you get in the package. A 10 mil on a Milwaukee wrench to take off the heat shield once he removes the rear bushing, and then this will let the exhaust drop out of it. I assume the reason for just taking these off is you don't want to separate these bolts. There's always a chance these exhaust bolts are going to break, or the gasket in between is not so good anymore, so you're just asking for more issues. And this is fairly simple, you just need to get it out of the way. So up here you'll see that there's these 10 mil bolts. They all have to come off to take off this heat shield. Good Lord. Well, the first few seconds I was
That's the camera.
yeah, we're gonna move the camera, but 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts have to come off. I was tightening the first few seconds. So we see next here there are holes here, 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 and here. Those are the ones the bolts are going to go up into, but first we have to run the bolts through and remove the plastic plug on the inside. So getting up under here, we have to remove, this is the passenger side, you have to remove this plug and that plug and that plug. Whoops, I'm not even looking at the right ones. Here we go. So you have to remove this plug, and this plug. That big one in the back is mainly to feed in the bolts that need to go to these 2 locations. So I'm going to do the rear one first. So these smaller brackets go on the rear, the larger brackets go on the front. So I'm going to send the coil in through. Actually, no, I think it goes this way, all the way to the back. This sucks. So then I'm putting on the smaller of the 2 washers. I can send that up in there And then this is coiled so you can thread in the carriage bolt. Thread it in really well. You don't want to lose that up there. So thread that in, and then I can pull. What? Ain't that just so ingenious? Now this one should be a little bit easier because it's the back one. So, yep, just like that. A lot easier. Now, let's move our light so we can see. I'm taking the thicker one, put that through. Do not let it come out through the other hole. We're going to send that up inside, which it barely fits, but send that up inside so that's there. And then take this bolt and thread it on. Pull it through like that. And now we just have to do the same on the other side, which would be hard to show because there's a muffler hanging there. So we'll do the other side and come back. And this here is the driver's side. So you want both of the bolts to be hanging here, ready for the exhaust to come on. Or the exhaust to come on. I'm used to Charlie's car. So per the instructions here, there's 2 washers that go on the back side of it. So we put it on here, put some blue tape to keep it in place, poke the hole through it on both sides so it doesn't move around because it needs to get sandwiched in there. So next, we'll be going under and threading through that metal wire that I pulled down from each side. We'll pull them through all of these holes. As soon as they get through, then we can take the wire off and then put the bolts on, which are these bolts right here. It is an 18, and then we put it to 50 foot-pounds with the torque wrench right here.
Snug them up first, and we'll double check.
So this was fun. As you see here, this is the locking washer, the nut, and then this. Important note that we saw was you have to make sure the exhaust hanger goes through this cutout right here. That's when it lines up. So on this side, we have washer, hitch, locking washer, nut to lock everything in. So we're on the left side of this, and you're going to pretty much cut right where that end is. And you can put it up under there and then mark it. That's what we did. You're just cutting a hole. And not cutting yourself.
Okay. That was a little exciting though.
So these are torqued down to 50 foot-pounds, this one and this one. And then we put on these 10 mil fasteners again, there, and there. So now we can put the exhaust back up on its hangers. You know, I've come to think of E-Trailer as the Crutchfield of trailer parts. So this is the Tow Pro Elite electric trailer brake controller. This will give us a button on the dash to activate the trailer brakes, and then also adjust the sensitivity. So you don't have to have that big old box sticking right where your shin is and you hit it every time you hit the gas. This eliminates that. And then this is the E-Trailer 7-point wiring harness. We have to run it from back here all the way up the drive shaft channel, not in the drive shaft of course, to the engine bay, connect it to the battery with a fuse, and then run it into the driver's area. So we'll get started with that.
Why does this look like Romex cabling?
Heavy duty. So comes with that wire, points to the front, some wire loom, a bracket, and then lots of little relays, butt connectors, breakers, zip ties, some bolts for the bracket, and instructions. So this does require that you have the 4-point power plug already existing. So it'll give you a connector here on it to connect to your existing 4-point. I thought I had it. I never actually checked. So we're going to run it all and then we'll just connect the 4-point. I'll order it from each trailer and connect the 4-point later. But the hard part is getting the 7 installed.
Where does that mount?
Huh?
Where does that mount?
On the hitch somewhere. So first thing is we're taking the harness and we're going to install it on the hitch itself. After that, they give you this really long wire, which has a white and a black for power and controller connectivity. So here is the 7-pin connector right here. This is the bracket that will mount it up. We're going to find a clever way to do that because this hitch that we just installed doesn't have the holes for it. But on the back side, you have your 4-pin. This will connect to the existing 4-pin. If you don't have it, you got to get the harness that connects to the Subaru harness for that. And then your harness for the harness. Then you're left with these 4 colors: white, blue, yellow, and black. So black is going to connect to black on this really long extension cable to run to the front of the car. Yellow is for surge braking, they say. So if you're towing a boat with a surge brake coupler thing, you use that. In this, we're just going to cap it off and not use it. Blue is going to run on the white of this extension, and then the white connector with the fitting on the end, that's ground. It could have just been green, but white is ground in this scenario. So we'll just screw that into a metal piece of the panel. It does come with butt splices, but we're going to use these marine grade butt splices. These are the ones that you can slide onto the cable here, and then there's a piece of solder right here, and then you can use a heat gun and it'll melt the solder and then fuse it around both wires, and then there's heat shrink tubing here and here to seal it off from weather. This will overall make it a much longer lasting solution than using butt splices. And you've got to use electrical tape. It'll just work. So our next step is to run the gray wire from the back, the duplex wire up from the back all the way to the front. I'm going to also refer to the e-trailer video here. Excellent video. We're just following along with that. So look at that video for details of where to run the cable, because I don't have a lift, so we can barely fit ourselves under here. So we're going to run this and then we'll move to the front, and I'll show you the cabling at the end. But we're going to move to the front and then we'll be able to work in the engine bay and under the front of the car. So in a second. So while Charlie runs the cable, the duplex cable from the back to the front, I'm going to be mounting these 2 breakers right here. Just see that there's copper on the top and then just regular silver metal on the bottom. Copper goes on the top. They give you a 20, 30, and 40 amp. The biggest one, and it's written on the side, it says 40 amp. This is the one that runs to the back. And then the 30 amp, they say you can run 20 or 30. When in doubt, use the higher one. I'm going to use the 30, so I'm going to put the 30 on closer to the driver's side, and then the 40 is going to go right next to it, right over here on this area. And it's just a couple of self-tappers, and it goes right in. I love anything that uses self-tappers. Temporarily going to remove... Oh no.
Gone forever.
That really is. That's really in there. Just like that, we've stripped that out, so we're just going to pop that off and break it. And so we can move that out of the way.
Where did you go?
Now this is the...
Can you see the wire I just fed up there?
Yeah.
Give it a tug. Keep going. Keep going. Slow. Hold on. All right, slow. Keep going. A little more. There you go. This could get really weird. I could pop out between your legs.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Timmy. Would you like some popcorn?
Oh no.
That's another thing going forever.
Well, that's the fuse.
You, my friend, need an alignment.
Oh,
Yes.
tires are pretty bad up there.
You have chewed through the end of the tread.
Fortunately, that wasn't what I wanted.
Is this what you wanted?
Hey!
It's like, there's a little door right here. What's in this door? What the heck is this door
Well,
for?
we got that back. Now I just need to find my little magnet so I can get the other one back.
Got chunks of wood falling out of here. I don't know what this is though. See if I can get the little door to lock again.
As you can see here, wire comes up here and we're going to zip tie it around this direction, enough to get to there just barely. You know, if you don't want to do this project yourself, check out Trail Grid Pro. You can have them do it for you. It's probably what I should have done.
A bolt and a nut later on.
Yeah. After a couple of plugs and unplugs, it's going to be falling off.
Alright, so I'm assuming that came with nuts and bolts for that.
Yeah. Although the lighter method is faster.
Yeah.
When the brake controller stops working, I'm going to look at this ground screw. You want a lighter? I think I thought about it. I think I know where it is.
A lighter, but not your butane monsters starring.
That's the only lighter I have. So with that, everything on the back is finished. We have the connector bolted up, ground is connected, power and brake control is connected. I need to order the harness, the OEM harness for the 4-pin. So everything in the back is now finished. Now we just need to do the front and then the interior. Back up in the front. So don't do what I did. Watch your instructional video. The white wire goes inside. The black wire comes over here. And I'm going to watch this again one more time, just to be sure. So this is the black that runs to the back of the car. This is black that runs inside with that white that powers the brake controller itself.
Did they send extra wire with that?
No, that was that one wire we cut off the back. Anyways, so it is the black wire that runs up here, not the white wire. Read your directions a few times before you go cutting things. So black connected there. I need to make 2 white wires to connect from here to somewhere here. Reminder to the editor when I'm going through all this, just order a bunch of bulk higher gauge wire again, one of them multi-packs on Amazon, because we are out. So while Charlie does the extracting of a wire we need to run into the cab, let's open the Tow Pro Elite electric trailer brake controller kit and see what we get. So you get the control box. There is a tiny dial. Let's not lose that. And then the controller itself, which lets you push it in and then turn it. This is what it's going to mount on my dash. And then the light up, a double stick, and the light up knob, and then the 2 harnesses. So this harness obviously will connect right into the brake controller here, plug in there, and then this harness will plug into this side of the brake controller here, and then this is what plugs into the button that goes right behind the dash. So all this stays up in front of the dash and there's nothing at your knees. And then these 4 wires we have to splice. Black is the positive supply wire, last one to connect, and then there's a white for ground, there's a red for brake, or blue for brake output, and then brake light. So this is what gets spliced in with the Vampire connector, and then this is what splices into the white that we ran inside. So to recap, blue goes to white, runs to the back, white goes to ground again, just gets screwed into something that's already in there. Red gets Vampire clipped to the brake so it knows when it's braking, and then black goes to the black wire that Charlie's making right now for power, or white for power. Here is the control panel from inside of the car, and this is where I need to figure out how to release these buttons. So next up we have a coat hanger with the 2 wires on there. Charlie's going to push this through over here And then the only thing we have to do on this side is to connect to the other end of this black wire to power down here, tighten all these back down, attach them to the battery when we're done. So
Give me a second.
All right. A lot of sound bending in here. This is nice.
What the heck are you doing? Oh, you're pumping the brake. Do you like see the big harness that comes in?
Yeah.
Can you like, on the driver's side of it, feel around to see if there's a hole? All right, give it a tug.
Huh?
You can go ahead and pull. All right. Pulling the bulbous part of it through. Oh, there it goes. Push.
Oh no! Push it.
I need really long needle nose.
All right, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop. Oh, damn.
Oh, Dr. Nate's gonna have a lot of work. Oh my God. Let me tell you what, that was not fun. So
That was the most fun I've had all weekend.
and that is going to be a pause for today. We got the wiring finished in the engine bay, hitches installed, finished back there. Only thing left is the wire in the box here. Oh, and I need to get the harness for that. So, but we need to find a new blank. The blank that comes with OEM Subaru has a bunch of crap in the back, and there's no way we're going to be able to drill through all that. So, I'm going to try and order a blank. I'm going to try and order that harness for the rear of the Subaru, and we'll be back at this in a week or a few days. Or, let's cut myself under the dash. That was fun. See you in a little bit. Well, it's like a month later. We're finally back on this Outback project, working on the hitch and really the button. We've been hung up on the button trying to get it right. So there's a gauge here. The gauge is, there's a Charlie level perfection gauge where it's got to be perfect so it looks like it came from the factory, if not better. And then there's my level of gauge where just drill a hole and stick it in there and we'll be done. We're trying to aim in the middle. We're trying to find somewhere in the middle to put this button. We'll show you how we're going to do it. We might screw it up. The Outback button's in Charlie's left hand, and the one we have to mount is in his right hand, and we're trying to figure out. There's a lot of different compartments in there that we have to get through.
Remove.
Carve through with a Dremel. So we're going to use a bench vise, Dremel with various cutters to try and cut away just enough we need to get that in there. We're trying our best. But we're on a time limit now because of this Wednesday or so. I need to use this hitch. So it needs to power the trailer. It doesn't need to do the brakes, but it should. It needs to do trailer lights, trailer brakes, blinkers, and all that. So now we're on the time crunch. So moving over here to the bench vise that I mounted here on the corner. Using my uncle's bench vise with my grandfather's bench. As you can see, it is very old. I also have this accessory box from Amazon of various bits for the Dremel. I mean, a lot of them are completely worn away and destroyed from projects where I don't know what I'm doing and I'm just picking a random bit and going for it, but it's okay. I guess snips is an easier way than using the Dremel because the Dremel will start melting things real quick. Easier than expected. Maybe this is no Dremel needed, just some side cutters.
I will definitely need to cut the back off, but
No.
And it's going to split the button in half at the very last minute.
It's all going to just collapse. So now we can cut off that plug, the fake plug on there, because there's no reason for that to be on there. Don't be unsafe. We have safety gear now.
Oh, that smells lovely.
So he's just lining up here where to put the hole, because the hole isn't centered, it's a little bit justified in one direction. Not quite.
Almost perfect.
This is what that looks like. So when it's mounted in the car, it'll look like this, and then you can turn it to 0, or you can turn it all the way up, and then it clicks. I think we hit full Charlie level professionalism with this one. We aimed for the middle, but we hit that mark. So now we just have to run all the connections inside the car, and then we're good to test it. And then this is what it looks like inside the car. You can push it, turn it down, turn it up, and then it'll sit back in there like that, and brake controller right there. I'm just gonna get the harness. So in here, of course, we're following the e-trailer video. The white wire goes to ground, so I put on a smaller ring terminal here, and way up in here, we're looking at the gas pedal. Ow, no, there goes the lights. Up in here, we're looking at the gas pedal, and I took off the 10 mil bolt right there, and I got a smaller ring terminal, and then that'll sit right there. So white is our ground. The only thing left is going to be the red, which gets vampire clipped. A vampire clip is one of these. Red will go in here on this right side, and then we'll find the wire that we need to tap into, probably connected to the brake somewhere. I'll find it in a second. And then we just close this with some pliers, and it'll tap into the brake. And then really it's just going to be zip tying everything up under here. I have the control wire that comes from the button up here. It's just hanging here right now. There is a panel. You can pop this panel off right here. It just pulls straight down. There's just 3 clips, and then it gives you more space, and that's also probably where the box is going to sit on, so it doesn't get on your feet and everything. Okay, I won't lie and say that was easy. That was miserable. So if you look way up here, I'm looking under the dash. I'm following the brake. So there's the brake. We're going up. We're going up. There's a connector right there. It's at the post right there of the brake pedal. You have to unplug that connector. There's a brown wire on it, and then slide the vampire clip on it while holding the red cable, while upside down, while your hands are covered in dielectric grease, and somehow snap that so it makes a connection. Will this work? We'll find out. If it doesn't work, that's going to be our first thing to look at right there. Otherwise, back out here, the harness is plugged into the box. This goes to the button that's right there. Inside is black going to black, white from outside going to blue from the harness. And we should be good to connect power at the engine bay and turn it on. So the last step here is we have our positive going from both of the copper sides of these breakers, and we're going to put them on the rear nut here for the positive side, and then the system's fully powered up and we can test it. As you can see, these are both locked down to this back nut. We put this cover back on. Dang it. Later. This should be the easy part. We really just have to plug it into the 7-pin there and see if it works. So this is a standard 7-pin connector. You can see left turn signal, 12 volt, brake light, backup, right turn signal, and whatever TM stands for. You can get them on Amazon. And it'll just plug into hot all the time?
Should be.
Okay. I was like, crap, we wired something else. It's a hot cold one.
You have TM. That's left turn. Right turn. Is that brake?
Right?
It's lighting up both turn signals.
I guess that's...
It works. I'm not sure if that's right.
We tested the brake controller. LT, RT, left turn, right turn, light up individually. And then when you hit the brake, LT and RT light up. BK, which should be the electronic brake controller, is not lighting up. Not sure what that could be yet. We're going to wait until we get the item that we're going to be using that has a brake controller on this, and then because there's no trailers here right now that have a brake controller to test that. Really, it's not really necessary. It's more of a nice to have. It's not going to prevent what's happening this week from happening. So I know very cryptic. You'll see, don't worry, it'll be good for the channel. So now we traded back. Charlie is now under the driver's seat trying to make it look pretty, because this is back to that spectrum of me. I'm just going to jam all the cables up there and call it done. He's going to make it look professional, and it will never hit me in the foot again. So we're leaning towards the Charlie side of keeping things clean. So right now he is doing the final cleanup in there. And that's the button right there. Pushing that does make LT and RT light up. So we'll see. So here's the final installation after Charlie went and cleaned it all up. Can't even tell there's a brake controller down here. Brake pedal works, gas pedal works, nothing's interfering. Oh, I see. It's all right there, bundled up. This is between the gas and brake pedal, so this is the brake pedal right here. Oh, I see what he did. Yeah. That is how you install a brake controller on a 2020 Subaru Outback that has nothing at all. We installed the hitch, we installed the 4-point wiring harness from the factory to the hitch controller, then we installed the 7-pin all the way up front with the brake controller under the dash with the button mounted on there. This was a lot. If you've made it through this entire video, thank you for watching. I hope it helped. I wanted to show extra detail on this because this was a pain, especially the dash portion, and I couldn't find any videos online that actually showed drilling into the button and making the button look good. So hopefully the button portion helps. So I included all that in there, so hopefully that helps you. Drop a subscribe if you made it this far. Definitely helps the channel. Hit the thumbs up. If you have any questions, drop them below. We can troubleshoot together if you have issues. I'm happy to help answer any questions, because this was not an easy one afternoon thing. As you saw, we did it most of it in one day, took a month break, came back and finished the rest of it. So you need a little bit of mix of detailed personality versus just get it done personality, and you will get this done easily. Yeah, drop any comments in the comment section below. Let's talk about it. See you next time. Thank you to Uncle Charlie for doing this detailed and helping me get through this, because by myself I would not be able to do this. See you next time. Peace. Oh, and on the Sometimes Adventures sub-channel, we'll be able to see what we're going to use this hitch for coming soon in a few weeks. So join us for that. See ya. Peace.